What are linguistic relics, and how do they preserve old language? Imagine finding a tiny piece of history hidden in the words we speak today. That's what linguistic relics are, small clues from the past that help us understand how language has changed over time. These relics are words, phrases, or features that have survived from earlier stages of a language but are no longer common or have shifted in meaning. Think of them as leftover pieces from a puzzle, giving us a glimpse into how people used to communicate long ago. The word relic itself means something that remains from an earlier time, often holding cultural or historical importance. In language, relics can be words that kept their original form or sense, or phrases that reflected old ways of thinking or living. For example, in English, words like thou or thee are relics from older English, even though most people don't use them anymore. They still show up in old texts or in certain dialects. Linguistic relics help preserve old language by keeping parts of it alive that would otherwise be lost. They act as living links to the past, showing us how words sounded, what they meant, and how grammar was structured centuries ago. When linguists study these relics, they can trace how words evolved, how pronunciation changed, and how meanings shifted over time. This process is called etymology, which is the study of word origins and histories. Sometimes relic words stick around in specific dialects or special contexts. They can also appear as loanwords, words borrowed from other languages, or as remnants of cultural contact. For example, many English words came from Latin or French, and some of these are relics from those influences. These relics tell stories about how different cultures interacted and how languages borrowed from each other. Using relics in sentences can add a touch of history. For example, saying, "In Shakespeare's plays, you often see relics like thou and art that reminded us of early modern English," shows how these old words still echo through literature. In the end, linguistic relics are like tiny time capsules. They preserve old forms and meanings, offering us a peek into the language's past. They help us understand how language has grown and changed, and they keep the stories of our ancestors alive in the words we use today.